Hello all, and welcome to my Veteran Maelstorm Arena guide. This is a guide for the average player by the average player. We're up to stage 6 at the moment, commonly known as the spider stage, and we do get some pretty annoying spiders in here, that's for sure. Now this stage is where a bit of RNG comes into play. We do die here once. RNG definitely wasn't on our side. So when we load in, I'll go through a bit of the mechanics and how I find is the easiest way for me to complete this round. Now I won't go into the build or anything. I'll put a link in the description back to the first video, stage 1, that goes a little bit over my build, my gear, skill, CP. There are plenty of Nightblade, Magicka Nightblade builds out there that are probably much better than mine, so by all means you can get your info from them. So yeah, let's jump into stage 6. So here in the arena before us, you'll notice that there are 5 pillars, the 5th one being out of shot to my left. Now it's important to understand how these pillars work and how they work in conjunction with other mechanics in this stage. So you can see that the middle pillar here is free of cobwebs, and we want to try and have at least 2 free at all times in order to survive a certain mechanic that happens in the stage. Now the main mechanic with this stage here and the pillars is that lots of little spiders will spawn and they'll instantly be after us. Now what we need to do is to get ourselves to a pillar that is glowing or emitting a nice yellowy gold light, and that in turn will disperse the small spiders, and they'll go away until next time. Now in order to cleanse these pillars, we need to kill one of the horvers that spawn. There'll only ever be one horver spawned at a time. We need to aggro him and lure him toward a pillar and then kill him on that pillar, and he will cleanse the cobwebs from it. You can also kill the horver away from the pillar or next to a pillar that's already been cleansed, and you can pick up his guts, I suppose you could call it, and you can throw it at one of these pillars that are covered with cobwebs to cleanse it. You can also throw his guts at any of the mobs or any of the bosses in here, and as a result they will take more damage, so that's always good too. Now as we're cleansing these pillars, there's going to be an annoying little spider that spawns, and he's going to try and wrap them back up in cobwebs, so we can't use them to protect ourselves from these other little spiders. So we just need to keep an eye out for him and burn him down quickly. And obviously if left too long, he will finish his little mechanic, wrap up a clean pillar, and then despawn, and then we'll have to cleanse it again. So now the idea is that when we get 5 of these pillars totally cleansed, it instantly stuns everything in the arena. So anything that is currently up in the arena, or anything that is spawning in, as soon as it spawns in, it will be stunned. Now this mechanic happens, I think, for about 15 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds. I know it's not very long, but it's enough time to give us a little bit of DPSing time. Now when I first started to do this, I tried to line up cleansing of all of the pillars by the final round bosses. And when it worked well, and it was easy, but I just find that taking the defense sigil on the round bosses was much easier than trying to keep all pillars cleansed by that stage, because RNG comes in, and if you die, all the pillars but one will come back to being wrapped up in cobwebs and unusable. So just starting off, I wouldn't really concentrate on cleansing the pillars, just mainly keeping at least 3 of them clean at all times. So as in any other stage, we DPS the one out down quickly, focus on the next. As you can see, our horver friend is coming into the frame. I don't think we kill him next to a pillar, but please keep in mind you can pick his guts up and throw it at a pillar to cleanse it. Very, very important. Notice the glow there on these pillars, transitioning from one to the other. It's important to know that where they are at the moment. And as you can see, they'll disappear from one and then come on to the next. Now that's very important for us to know, because if we didn't have that second pillar cleaned or cleansed, it just it wouldn't have gone anywhere. It wouldn't have been available to us. So now the little spiders spawn, and we need to run to the glow in order to disperse them. The round boss spawns in, and I strongly suggest taking the shield sigil there, which is going to help you handle these heavy attacks, and trust me, they hit hard. Another mechanic we see here is lightning splashing onto the ground. The harness Magicka is just amazing here. You'll need it, and it'll save your life immensely. So first round down, on to the next. So there's going to be lots of mechanics happening. You're going to have lightning crashing down, halvers spawning, mobs spawning, and along with all that you're going to have these little spiders, as you can see here, trying to cover up our cleansed pillars, and the little spiders that are trying to kill us. But just keep orientated, keep an eye on those glowing pillars, and you'll be fine. Now I strongly suggest, if you get into trouble halfway through a round, is take the health regen sigil. It's a nice buff that'll keep you up until the end of the round, but try and save the shield for the end. So coming up is my only death on the stage. I get a bit disorientated and lose track of the glowing pillar. As a result, get caught in no man's land, and the little spiders quickly dispatch me. But as you see, when I load back in, all of the pillars except for the middle one are all wrapped up again. So that's why it's important not to obsess over trying to keep the pillars all cleansed by the end of the round for the round boss, because fair chances is that won't be the case, and you won't be able to do that. So just concentrate for starters on keeping at least 3 of them cleansed at all times. So some of the dual wheel trash here have a mechanic where they will CC you. You can interrupt them, but most of the time you may not be close enough to do so. So if this has given you a fair bit of grief, I suggest making yourself some restore stamina or restore Magicka pots with immovable in there as well. Helps out. Coming up here, in my opinion, is one of the tougher round mini bosses. He's a two-hander. He has a really nasty wrecking blow on him. He also does lightning form and a negate. The negate's probably the most deadliest thing he does, as it silences you when you're in there. So there's no shields, no self-heals, etc. Generally, if you can get a bit of time on him, he will burn down quickly, but as you can see, I've got the spiders on me there, so I have to leave him for a bit. But we lay down our AoE and get him in it and burn him down. So sooner or later you're going to find yourself having to face tank one of these big atros, or any mob for that matter, on a glowing pillar. So you're forced to one spot, you've got all sorts of things happening. Now it's very important to lay down refreshing path and spam your shield. Just keep yourself protected. There's no other way, you're just going to have to sit there and bear it. Block cast helps as well, but most importantly refreshing path and your shield. So coming up is one of the harder trash pulls of the stage. What I like to do is to stack on the lurcher, wait a few seconds for everything to come to you, and then pop soul tether and sap essence. It's going to burn everything down quite quickly, and it'll get you through that little bit quite easily. This next guy is another two-hander, less of a threat than the first. It's just important to dodge roll these poison attacks. They'll slow you down and they hurt a lot. As you can see, we activate all of our cleansed pillars here, and it gives us a lot of valuable time to burn him down with minimal fuss. And as you can see, anything else that spawns in is instantly stunned as well. So the round bosses here are two lurchers. It's just important to concentrate on one and keep your distance. If you see one in an animation like he's doing there, shaking, just leave them. It's quite a harmless mechanic. It can't hurt you unless you're in it, and it gives you valuable time to burn him down. So once one's down, the other falls quite easily. Just keeping distance and burning him down. And then it's on to the last boss. So we're up to the final stage boss. It's very important here to always keep some form of DPS on the boss. Keep some form of ground AoE ticking away. Another thing to remember is that you can interrupt her charge attacks, so you'll see me do that throughout the fight. She'll spawn a little spider ad. It's important to burn it down quickly. It has a poison spit, and it also slows you down over time. Certain health thresholds you'll spawn in a lurcher. It's important to burn it down as quickly as possible, and it's a good opportunity there to use the damage sigil to help you burn that down quickly. Now I do run into a bit of sustain issue here because I forget to reapply Siphon Strikes, so don't be like me, always keep that Siphon Strikes up. On top of all that, you've got all the usual mechanics, so can get a bit overwhelming, but just keep at it. Keep in mind to always keep working towards cleansing all of the pillars, so we can shut the fight down and give us time to either burn the ads or burn the boss itself. But yeah, always try and have a bit of damage ticking over on the boss at all times. It really does help. So we're coming up to execute phase, so we pop our ult, lay down ground AoEs, and just execute away and burn it down.
The challenger succeeds. We have a winner.
As always, repair up, and then we move onwards to stage 7.